The Ministry of Works and Housing is mandated to initiate and formulate policies for the works and housing sector, as well as coordinate, monitor and evaluate the implementation of plans, programs and performance of the sector for national development. The vision of the ministry is to be a pace-setting ministry for sustainable management of public works and housing infrastructure for accelerated development.
If we pay due regard to this ministry, it will have a cascading effect on the overall economic performance of Ghana.
The ministry is to plan and implement programs and projects for the sustainable management of public landed properties, coastal protection works, operational hydrology and storm water drainage systems, as well as secured, safe, decent and affordable housing for all people living in the country. The ministry drives on 3 pillars, namely human settlement development, coastal management, and drainage management.
Our housing stock, as measured against our people, has such a dissonance which is very embarrassing. We're talking about what people even believe could not be the genuine figure, but what we have in the past is 1.7 million housing deficit, with a growing population and urbanization. And there should be the need for the government to intervene to ensure that people are properly housed.
The State Housing Company is working hard to bridge the housing gap in the country.
State Housing is going to be leading the effort in bringing out these deficits. And to this end, we are revamping all our offices across the country. We are acquiring new land banks to be able to have a rapid acceleration in terms of providing housing for Ghanaians.
We have a whole coastal stretch of 550 kilometers. This coastal stretch has the negative dimensions. The sea is our land. If you go to Keta and other places, the sea has been very ferocious and wiped out whole communities. So we have the mandate of sea in the coastal area of 550 to do coastal management, what we call sea defense.
In this area, we go into identifying, monitoring and analyzing erosion problems along the country's coastline.
But there's a dimension that President Akufo-Addo is bringing to bear on, coastal protection, that we should look at our coast as veritable sources of foreign exchange. You can so develop your coast, reclaim part of the sea, erect world-class hotels, where the hotels will be overlooking the sea and the beaches are very clean. So we are not just going to do coastal protection in the rudimentary form where you get contractors to drop boulders to prevent the forces of the sea coming to destroy the land. But can we add tourism? And what is also very challenging, and we can't run away from it, is the whole area of drainage and sewage. The popular one that is known is the outdoor challenge, in which in the circle area of Accra, we always have situations in which there are spillovers due to rainstorm runoffs.
Housing. The government's vision is to use an appropriate mix of public policy and public-private investments to deliver quality, affordable social housing and private housing solutions that meet the needs and financial capacity of the ordinary Ghanaian.
So if you look at the MPP manifesto, we're addressing what we call social and affordable housing, that everybody who is in Ghana and is doing well and is working should say that when I've come to my retirement, I should be able to find a place of rest through a credible mortgage arrangement. And this is what we are working at with all seriousness.
We want to assist and support the economy to provide as many houses that are affordable to the everyday Ghanaian and not just for the affluent.
The government recognizes the dream of all Ghanaians to own a home, or failing that, at least to have decent rental accommodation.
Currently, we are looking at providing 15,000 homes for health workers alone. And that's huge. I mean, in terms of security service, teachers, we are looking at providing between 2,000 to 5,000 homes. The goal is to make homes affordable. That's the goal of the State Housing Company, which falls right into the vision of the government to make homes available for everybody who wants a home and who needs a home. We recognize that it's not everybody who wants to own a home. Some people would like to rent. And in this field, we're also working on providing affordable rental for people who don't want to buy a home.
The company is putting up for sale several housing projects for various groups in the country. Adenta House and Flats by the State Housing Company are being undertaken, and the SHC Gardens, some of which have been completed and sold out, whilst others are coming up fast.
So currently, we are looking at the people's pocket, what they need, where they want to stay, and deriving policies and building homes to meet that need.
The Tema Development Company, TDC, is a real estate development and management company. Site 3 infilling project. The phase 2 of this project comprises 4 blocks to provide 64 apartments, mainly 3 bedrooms upon completion. The Community 26 affordable housing project at Pung is expected to produce a total of 114 blocks to provide 1,584 apartments upon completion. President Akufo-Addo's government recognizes and appreciates value for money, and therefore will complete all the uncompleted affordable housing projects across the country.
We are very, very positive that we have to complete them.
The ministry is currently engaging developers, both foreign and local, to consider the uncompleted projects.
The redevelopment is premised on the principle that the government can't develop world-class residential properties because of, as usual, our challenges with our budget. We don't have enough money to do it. So we have land, cantonments, Roman rich and good places. We do what we call land for world-class property swap. So we come with our land, and the private developer will come and develop it to taste. Then we'll have the benefit of good structures.
Other collaborative housing projects have been undertaken at Saglemi in Ningo Pram Pram. This project comprises flats and townhouses. Many of the SNIT houses in the affordable housing projects in Boteman have been completed and are up for sale, whilst work is ongoing to complete the few left. The redevelopment housing program at 4 sites is ongoing in Roman Ridge. They include townhouse and flats. Some of these housing projects have been completed and have been occupied by civil and public servants, whilst others are near completion. The Navin housing project has been completed and was inaugurated. Government has also commenced discussions with Mercedes Sino Hydro Corporation Limited for construction of 40,000 houses and court structures for the Ghana Armed Forces, Ghana Police Service, Ghana Prison Service, Ghana Immigration Service, Ghana National Fire Service, and the Judicial Service.
President Akufo-Addo is very serious in line with the Zongo and inner city development to change the face of Nima. We should expect Nima to have world-class structures in which the developer will develop part of Nima, but will not ask the people in Nima to leave Nima. They will also have their level of good housing alongside the world-class structure that we erected. And that's going to give Accra a new face. Imagine that you look at Nima and the structures are like Trasaco. And alongside it too, we provided good flats for our people of Nima to live along in the same area. We will not sack them from the premises, but we will change the quality of their places of abode. And that is going to be very, very revolutionary. This is something in the pipeline we're going to do. We are going to do the same thing in Mamobi.
Under the works subsector of the ministry focuses on mitigating the erosion of country's coastline as well as the devastating effects of flooding across the country.
We don't want to talk too much about the fact that we are contributors to what is happening, that people would dump their waste into the drains. And then when we have rainstorms, instead of flowing into, well-designed places, whenever there is a rainy season, you run away from the fact that, hey, are we going to have a situation in which, there's going to be floods? We need to address the serious issue of drainage. And that is hugely capital intensive. And we having certain ideas that we put in before cabinet to ensure that we will not have this perennial situation of flooding marking this nation.
This program has the overall objective of protecting the life of all people living in the country as well as properties that are adversely affected by the devastating effects of the flooding and coastal erosion.
The Hydrological Services Department is the national institution with responsibility for monitoring all rivers and surface water bodies in Ghana. Also, the HSD provides engineering consultancy services in the areas of hydrology, water resources, drainage engineering, sewage engineering, and coastal engineering.
In line with this, a number of programs are being implemented under the coastal and drainage management of the ministry. At New Takoradi, 1.2-kilometer sea defense project protects the railway's workshop and provides a safe landing bay for fishing boats. Residents are excited with the benefits of the Nkontompo Sea Defense Project.
Nti sɛ yɛn aban no a wɔabɛbɛ no wɔabɔhwɛ ma wɔayɛ dɛm sea defense wɔ na amhɛnda anka Nkontompo kuro no ɔnyɛ kuro ma yɛbio ɛyɛ nyinaa yɛ dɛ ebiara ne wɔbɛtum wɔatena kuro yi because ɔbɛno obu de na ɔde ɔkɔhwɛ baabi akɔkate obu de na ɔde ɔkɔhwɛ baabi kate nti amokɔfo ɛnam dɛm nti nkɔfo bebree so wɔafi aka titi ebi kɔfo nti wɔbɛyɛ sea defense wɔ no ma yɛn no wɔamɛsi siara ɛnyɛ ne yɛwɔ nyinaa ebiara no wɔtɔn.
The 2 kilometers Aboaze Sea Defense Project, apart from protecting the community, will also protect the Ameri Power Plant.
It was not only to protect the installation, but also to protect the community.
The Dansoman Sea Defense Project has brought relief to the residents.
This contract was awarded to Sedaco Hydro, and it covers a distance of 2 kilometers. Before we came in, the sea was ferocious, actually eating up the land and the houses were collapsing. So when we started, then with the protection work, it minimized. So you can see that the area we have covered, the erosion has stopped and is now eating eastwards. So actually it has had an impact because the buildings which are lost to the sea were very big and families were hurt. But with these protection works, they don't have any problem where we have reached.
The 4 kilometers Elmina Sea Defense Wall, which is the phase 2 of the new Takoradi Sea Defense Project, is 60% complete.
We started the process somewhere September 2016, and the duration of the contract is 3 years. Our mandate is to construct 4 kilometers sea defense wall at Elmina Coastal Hoist. Roughly 2.6 kilometers is completed, full revetment. The community appreciate the nature of the job we are doing because this bring relief to the castle, and the whole community is also safe because of the wall. Because right now sea erosion have reduced totally, and they are happy.
The 4.3-kilometer Blekusu Sea Defense Project, which includes the building of groins to avert the effects of sea erosion that is eating up the community.
Okay, so this project is an 18-month project. We have everything set. We are on course at the moment. Our sites, our machines, our supplies are all ready. We are aiming at finishing before the 18 months. It's a 2.4 kilometer sea defense revetment work that we are doing here. What I mean by revetment is we are reclaiming the land that the sea has taken from the community. Now, at the moment, if you look at my far left-hand side, you can see the excavators and stones that we have piled up there. That tells you that we have started work to do the revetment. We are going to go around the whole area until we get to where the castle is. Now, this has become very necessary because if you look right in the middle there, you can see something like a shrine. That was where the community started from. And as at now, we're looking at it. If you go behind my back, it is the sea has gone all the way down there, meaning that it has washed off all the buildings and every structure that was here before some time back, all the way down there. Now, at the moment, it is closer to the town, and they are crying. They have been crying for years. Now, it has become possible for us to come and do this. It is going to benefit them a lot, because at the end of the day, when we are done with this work, we are going to claim a lot of land for them, which they can use for so many things. Resettlements can come on it. Any other activities can be done on it. We have been told also that the fishermen, some of them when they go to sea, because of the high tide, it kills some of them when it comes because of the weight of the wave. So when we do this, it is also going to calm the waters for them, and this whole area is going to be like a landing bay for them.
The Adra breakwater in the western region is going on in earnest and will be completed very soon.
The breakwater is the two breakwater, one from this side, one from this side. One side is the Adra, the other side is from the Funko. Is to protect all this the area. Before the sea, they make plenty problem on the village and all this the area. But for now, if you see from this side, it's the quiet. The sea is the quiet, is the protect this. It helps to community here. And all this the area, now we don't have the problem.
Several interventions are being undertaken to avert the effects of flooding in various communities in the country. The Hydrological Services Department of the Ministry is up to the task.
The current management of the HSD is geared towards the attainment of the establishment's mission to promote hydrological service delivery with respect to planning, design, execution, operation and maintenance of flood control mechanisms and coastal protection systems, drainage improvement, river development, operational and applied hydrology, so as to realize our vision of becoming a world-class institution, employing best hydrological practices to safeguard the environment for sustainable development. The establishment undertakes the design and supervision of drainage works with emphasis on primary drains and flood control measures.
The Sakaman Storm Drainage Project is ongoing despite the initial hitches with property owners.
When it rains, the whole place becomes flooded. We only need a gutter. Unfortunately for us, this was done last year. That's the building. This building was put under the way, on the way, so that when it rains, it can't pass through. So I have to give part of my land here and here to get the gutter constructed so that we can all be free.
First, you gutter no. Man say me high. Pa call them a say.
The 200 meters drainage project at Sechedumase aims at providing relief to the residents.
In fact, this project is at the heart of Sechedumase, right down from the chief to the market woman. In fact, this is the main drain in the town, because all the other tertiary drains join it in one way or the other. And we have a lot of them running from this side to join down there. And so we are doing this to discharge into a stream down there. I think they feel good. They are always praising us for doing this, because formerly there was a big gully here without any crossing, and children and the old ladies, they were falling into the gutter, just like that. But with this, they have at least three crossings.
The minister has a message to Ghanaians.
Especially in the area of sewage and the drainage challenges in Ghana, is that we should cease from our old habits. Our sense of sanitation is bad. I do not understand why anybody will empty his filth, what he has, into the drainage, and then the channels will be choked. Good monies are being used for desilting. I find it unpardonable, because we need money. So year in, year out, we make budgetary allocation for desilting, and it's a vicious cycle. Where are we going with this? We need to deal with these issues. We have the good news also that the challenges in our door, the World Bank is partnering with the government to solve. Those of you who are anxious to have decent places of abode, President Akufo-Addo has given me the marching orders to do my very best to expand the housing units. And this year we intend, with the approval of the Ministry of Finance, to start rolling mass housing so that Ghanaians will have decent places to stay. What is even more important and foundational is President Akufo-Addo intends to change the mortgage regime in Ghana. We want to leverage on our sources of fund, the pension fund, the bank reserves, the Bank of Ghana reserves, and the rest of them, for us to see a good mortgage arrangement that if you subscribe to, 20 years down the line, you should be able to own the property of your own. So we are not doing bad, but it takes a lot of effort to grow infrastructure. We've not been sleeping. The program is on, and with the synergy we are having with the Ministry of Finance, you should see a fundamental change in the Ministry of Works and Housing. There's light at the end of the tunnel.